Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. Right in my hands is Batman The World, the graphic novel from DC Comics, recently released, and it's a pretty interesting release. So this is, it's a kind of a cool concept. So what DC did was had creators from all around the world tell stories about Batman. So the creative teams are from the countries, from the same countries, and doing it in their own style and telling their own voice and all that. So it's, in that way, it's very, very neat. So there is, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different countries represented, it looks like, if I'm counting right. 14 different countries represented. So the one knock that immediately stands out to me is there's no African country at all. It's, Europe, Asia, a little bit of South America, of course the U.S., but, for the most part, I mean, Middle East too, Turkey kind of straddles it. But Middle East and Africa are kind of left out, which is a little weird. I would love to maybe see India, some Middle Eastern nation would have been really interesting. I know there's some comic conventions there, and then Africa, there's some amazing talent coming out of there that I know DC's actually hired for some of their comics. So to not do it for this is a little strange. But beyond that, it's a really cool experiment. I mean, it's an anthology, so some stories are great, some not as much. But I think what really kind of stands out overall is like how different the styles are in every single way. Not just the storytelling themselves, not just the art, but like down to the lettering is fascinating. The DC wasn't really playing around with this. Like they just allowed these creators to do what they would normally do, and it's fun, out of everything, the lettering stands out to me for so many of them, kind of in a negative way, just because not used to some of the styles of lettering. And I know that sounds weird to like focus on, but it's the one thing that really jumps out at me that differs so much between them. I mean, like depictions of Batman are depictions of Batman. Pictures are pictures. Flow of the story is the flow of the story. We've kind of seen that. If you've read enough Batman and stuff, you've seen variations on the character. So it's it comes down to those small details. And what stands out to me is like it's things like the lettering. There's things like how some of the stories are being told. Some of them are very verbal, I guess would be the great way of putting it. A lot of text. It seems almost like the more like Eastern European, the more text you get, which I thought was really interesting. So the styles vary a lot. Comparing some of these countries to each other, I think is fascinating to see like countries you'd kind of associate with each other. How they are, tackle the creation of these comics and how they're similar and might be different and all that. So in that way, I think it's just a really fascinating read. Overall the stories are decent. Like, there's nothing that really jumps out at me being like, oh my god, you gotta read this. But they're good. It's entertaining. I think it's more feels like a really interesting academic read than kind of an entertaining read, which is probably why I'm not seeing a lot of coverage of this. But overall, like it's interesting. It's for me, it's interesting. We've got this nice cover to it. Dust jacket. The actual cover of the book is the same. On the back, there's like a little bit of a gallery, kind of showing off some of the different designs for Batman. As I said, like the art of it differs a lot, and that's where and the lettering, the style, that's really where things kind of take off. And become noticeable. I think it's just to me really interesting of how much that varies and how much it matters. Like it really, some of these stories were kind of, I won't say painful to read, but it was easier to read some than others. Just kind of going through and showing off. I think with the other thing that's really kind of fascinating, I wish I knew a little bit more about some of these nations, is like some of the comments seem like there's interesting commentary about their country using Batman. I think the Poland one makes, I think it was Poland, right? Yeah, I think it was Poland. Makes like a commentary about the nation going through a lot of changes and stuff like that. And you know, there's I feel like there's like some very interesting subtle commentary by some of these creators about their country and their history and, you know, what a character like Batman would mean to it. So you know, this may be like my one disappointment about this is it's just my lack of my knowledge. But overall, like it's a really interesting read. It's a really interesting graphic novel. I really like the concept. I kind of want to see more of it. But I actually want like more variation of countries. Like I want Africa. I want to see India. I'd love to see Middle East. Hell, I'd love to see Australian. I want to see Batman in Australia taking on Australian animals or something like that. It would you know. So hopefully we get more volumes than just this one. But who knows? I mean, it's a really cool concept. It's a really cool idea. And you know, as with everything with anthologies, there's some great, some bad, a lot in between, and you know, you just kind of got to roll with it overall. So yeah, to me, this was interesting to read, really to compare how everything was to each other. I think that's where the strength really lies with the graphic novel. So this is out in shops, so you can go get it. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code or tell if a comic shop's near you. No shop, no problem. We'll have some other links. They are affiliate links, so we get a small percentage by doing that. You help support our site, so thank you. Just watching our video support us, so as always, thank you for that. If you're into DC Comics, if you're into comics in general, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.